City of Stevens Point Bicycle and Pedestrian Street Safety Meeting, recorded August 19, 2021.
It's 2 o'clock. I call this meeting of the Bicycle and Pedestrian Street Safety Commission to order. Roll call, please.
O'Mara.
Here.
Fahrenbrock is excused. Cole.
Here.
Frostman is absent. Leek. Here. And Finn. And then we got a quorum.
Persons wishing to address the commission for up to 3 minutes on a non-agenda item. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to
My turn.
yes, Commissioner Finn.
It's regarding the bike ped count that's coming up Wednesday, September 15th. Because I did it last year, I have all the prep work, luckily. It won't take me as long this year to get everything done. 3:30 to 5:30, I will be sending out emails to previous volunteers. Adam Kuhn is going to be letting the public know through city media. But anybody who wants to volunteer needs to fill out a Google form that I've created, and then it becomes all official. The question I had, and the rain date will be Thursday, September 16th, same time, same places. And I also, when people volunteer, I also send out a rain date Google form to them so they can let me know if they can also make the rain date. The question I had, though, is a couple of added intersections were brought up before to the 11 or so that we had last year. One of them was to add the intersection at Burlesky Road and EM Cops Drive. I think you might have brought that up. So if we're all okay with it, I don't know if that needs to be something voted on. I'll just add that intersection. It was mainly for bikes. You were curious about bike travel.
A lot
there.
of pedestrians and
Oh,
bike
both.
traffic.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, at a past meeting, people thought that would be a good idea. The other is, and I think Commissioner Fahrenbach brought this up, was the contraflow lane on Reserve Street between Clark and Main. So probably mainly checking to see our college students using that contraflow lane. I assume, since that's right on campus. So adding that, so people are okay with that.
Would we do that in like mid-block?
Yeah, I'll have to.
That'd be the way to measure it.
Have somebody standing mid-block.
Mid-block,
saying.
and then we would mark all the lanes, and you would just put your hashtag in each lane, the contraflow lane and through lanes, because you want to separate them out. It'll be,
Contraflow goes against a one-way street.
yeah. So you'll have to count the one-way street and the contraflow lanes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
So you'll only have two
Okay.
choices to make.
So just make sure that the counters know, yes, okay. Remember, there's 2 lanes there, technically. Okay, good. So I'll make sure that those who are working.
Because we
know
won't
that.
know if it's being used if we just count it.
Do the one, the contraflow, yeah, yep. Okay, and just wanted to make sure, double check those before I update all the information to prepare for this year's count. So I'll add those two.
Well, thank you.
And if I could just add one thing too, I don't believe I sent something out to you all, but I have been working with Lindsay McClintock, the GIS technician here in the city, on creating some visual showing, past bike ped count data at the intersections that were surveyed. So the link to that map is on the city's bike page. I know Lindsay was going to work on having it on the overall GIS page where you have your tax parcel viewer map, zoning, trees.
Yeah,
strongly
nice. So you
encourage
took
you
that
to-
document from last year that had the.
Yeah, all the past information I
Great.
could pull, which I think the earliest was maybe 2013, 2014 data. So, naturally some intersections have only been polled once or twice. Others, we have 5-6 years worth of data,
At
but
least one deleted and some added, so a few
Mhm.
differences, but then that's all delineated on the chart,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So
okay, yeah.
my hope is in the years to come, once we get more and more data, that that'll show a more representative
Yeah.
figure of, the amount of bicyclists, the amount of pedestrians.
For residents to see how much
Correct.
how much bike flow there is and pedestrian flow there is in the city, great.
Correct.
And when we did those counts, some of them we had notes because there was construction or something that would skew the count. See if there's a way we can get those comments in there.
Yeah, right now we don't, but I can talk with
She
Lindsay.
could probably
and-
put a comment line in there someplace.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, because especially if, I don't know, in past years, some of the
Yeah.
counts were done in, say, October, November, fall time versus, traditionally, at least the last few
Well,
years in September.
That's easy compared to a construction contract
Yeah.
off the, and those would be in the data. We wrote them on top.
Well, one note that I feel would be important to, if you are going to include those, would be last year, because we did make a special note that, that was the pandemic and schools were not in session. So
Yes, that's
for
a
those
fact.
intersections, that made a big difference.
And I will note, we did
Yeah.
include the, quote-unquote, other category for all those intersections. So, other modes of transportation that have been counted outside of folks biking or walking, those have been
Yeah.
added in there too.
Yeah, great.
So,
That's great.
strongly encourage you all and anybody in the audience listening to take a look at that too.
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay, number 3, report of the July 8th, 2021 meeting of the Bicycle and Pedestrian Street Safety Commission. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as,
There is a
Published.
change that does need to be made for that. On number 2, where it says that Commissioner Finn, that's me, inquired something, that's not what I was asking about. So I do have the exact wording that you could use, should I say that now?
yes,
What it should say, Commissioner Finn inquired on whether there are future plans to add bike lanes from the Hoover Road overpass north to Main Street. That's what I'd actually asked about.
Perfect. Yeah, we will definitely get that amended.
Okay, so that's clear now? Okay, thanks.
Sure.
any other?
I don't know if this is a mistake. Here I am again. On the second page, under Director Bedouin added the following, number 1. Maybe it's just something I don't understand, but it says misconceptions in thinking that the total cost of sidewalk is assessed, whereas perhaps 30% of the cost is borne by residents. Therefore, the city taking on the remaining 30% would not be difficult. Am I missing a 40% that should be in there somewhere?
No, it's because if you grade or do drainage in that area, it's a cost of doing the sidewalk, but we don't specially assess it. We only special assess for grading and putting in the actual concrete slab.
But 30% and 30% only equals 60%. That's why I'm wondering if I'm missing a 40% something in there.
If I may, I think
Oh.
the way it's otherwise structured there is to say that because we only assess roughly 30%, it says that it would be that, which is borne on by the commissioners, it wouldn't be that much for the city, therefore, to take on that 30%.
That 30%,
Yes,
thank you.
so, yes, so
Okay.
incrementally thinking, just transfer
It says the
30% of
remaining
the total
30%.
cost.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I think the
okay.
remaining part is the part,
Is what confused me.
Issue, yeah, so
Yeah,
it'd just
if
be
it
a
just
matter of
said
us
take on
taking-
that 30%.
Maybe
would-
delete the
Thank
word
you.
remaining.
yes.
That would make it clear.
And just say, take on that 30%.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other? I'll entertain a motion to approve. What?
Sorry.
I motion to approve. I think
I'll
we said
second.
at the same time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the next one is going to be a discussion on our walk we're taking this afternoon.
Yeah, so as we talked about a little bit, page 7 of the agenda packet and also included on the screen shows the map indicating what the route will be this afternoon for the walking rolling audit. As Director Badoon mentioned last month, this map is broken down by streets that are planned to be reconstructed in 2022, plus other street segments potentially that could be included as part of an expanded project. So we'll start at approximately 3 p.m. over at the intersection of Lee and Washington, and then work our way essentially down Washington Ave until we reach Smith Street, and then wrap up onto Portage near where the old Belkey Lumber building is by MEJ's. As included in the packet too is, as what we've used in past years is the AARP Walk Audit Toolkit, which is a pretty good starter for you all commissioners, any folks in the audience, or who's planning to attend this afternoon to jot down your notes, jot down your thoughts on the key indicators that we'll be reviewing as part of this audit. So shown on your screen, was it like crossing the streets in the intersection for pedestrians, for bicyclists, for any other for folks using different modes of transportation? How are the sidewalks? Is the condition of it and adequate? Is it adequate or not? Driver behavior. Do they come at a complete stop all the time? Do speed, safety, and then more subjective criteria, the last two, comfort and appeal, and then ratings and observations. So what we'll do is, what I figured on, we'll break this route up in roughly about thirds. At each third, we'll kind of take a little break and go through each of these 6 categories and discuss, what are your general thoughts on, do these on a ranking of 1 to 5, 1 being poor, 5 being excellent, what's your overall comments on that street segment as it relates to these 6? And, I'm assuming if Director Badoon, you'll be along with the walking rolling audit, so you'll be able to answer any comments, questions that the folks may have too.
Yes, I will, and if I make
Sure.
2 comments about, so I guess 2 things is, one, as far as what was finally packaged up and set in for the capital request, does not include the light pink area on the map. I realize that we're supposed to start on that end, so hopefully we'll be able to walk through that portion of it quickly. I think we'll still start to do that. So that's comment number 1. Comment number 2 is, along that route there is active construction at both Washington at Forest as well as Washington at First Street. So I'd ask that anyone otherwise attending, if you have the ability to get a safety vest, would be much appreciated, as well as at least just be cognizant that there may be equipment operating through there and contractors are actively working in those intersections. So we just need the others be as safe as possible there and be aware.
And I can snag a few vests from the office before we head out there in case.
And I have 2.
Perfect. I guess, is there any comments, questions, at least in the interim, that folks may have?
The one comment is, it's always been my experience when we receive these audits, what really is valuable when people give specific comments about what they think is a deficit or something, that how they want it done, as opposed to saying, well, it's pretty poor, 60% poor. It's much better to be specific about what your concern is. If you say it's poor because the sidewalk is rough, and say what it is, why you're grading it like that.
Sure. Any other comments or questions?
Failing that, I will adjourn this meeting until 3 p.m. at the intersection of, to get to Lee Street and 4th Avenue.
Washington Avenue.
Washington, no, it shows up here going to Lee on the map.
Right here.
Okay.
Yep.
Lee Street and Washington Avenue.
Perfect.
Great.
Videos of these meetings are available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.